losing sleep lately. Recalling all the memories, and they said it's not what it seems, but I don't believe. I sit awake and think of all that we've seen, and I wish that I could go. I wish that I could go. I wish that I could go back.
Well, guess what I'm doing today? Make sure I'm recording. That's right, I'm camping, finally. I've waited all summer to get back out and do this, and now I'm finally doing it. So I've come up to Schnebley Hill Road, which is a huge dispersed camping area. It's nice and cool up here, and I'm looking forward to going into the woods and finding a spot to camp. Well, this is one of my favorite places I camped, but it happened to be one of the camping videos that didn't do very well, and I think that was because the thumbnail wasn't very good for it. But I thought I'd come up here and check out these trees while I still can, because I love camping in this kind of area, and I love camping when it's kind of chilly outside, and can't really do that when it's actually snowing because they closed this road. And even if they didn't, I don't think I could ride in the snow. But I must say, my faith in my electrical system has been restored, because I just rode 2 hours completely trouble-free. I'm pretty sure the issue was really just those wires that I failed to tape off that are wired into my ignition system. I didn't want to wire things to those because I didn't know their condition, I didn't know where they were going to, and I didn't know if they even worked. So that's why I went ahead and ran the wires all the way to my battery. Although, just for safety's sake, I did disconnect the power socket and the voltage gauge. So those wires are run, but they're not connected right now because I didn't want any surprises. You know what I hate? I hate these side-by-side things. I'm sure they're a good time, but unfortunately they give people that are inexperienced access to trails. Like this guy here, he's very polite. He's pulling over for me. The guy on a side-by-side generally won't do that because people who buy those just want to come out here and party. I feel like they just don't understand proper trail etiquette. They go way too fast. I've had people pass me on those things. I've had people stay in front of me at low speed so I get to eat their dust for half an hour. Plus they tear up the trails because they're so powerful you can drift them around like rally cars. I'm sure they're fun, man, but I don't know if the culture that's being built behind those is a good thing. At least right now. Maybe these people will learn. These guys are having a fun day. I don't know, maybe over time they'll like learn trail etiquette and it'll change things and all that. I don't know. Saw a ton of them. Like every time you go to a gas station out here, there's like 3 that pull up, and the people that get out are like, I don't know, dudes in like chino shorts. Like sometimes they don't even look like they've ever been off-road before. They're not dressed to get dirty. They're just, I don't know. I don't mean to hate on them. If you like them and you have one and you have a good time with it, then have at it. Just be polite when you see motorcycles or ATVs on the road, and be polite when you see other cars on the road. Don't treat it like it's your racetrack, because you have a big hunk of metal that you're moving. Pretty sure this is my turn. I'm gonna stop and look at my GPS just to be sure. Now it's up the road just a bit. I think this is it. Yeah, it's 8:01. Sweet! So let's see, what am I doing different today? Earlier this year, I said I wanted to try doing some more bushcraft style stuff. Whew. It's been a while since I've been on a road this rough. Hold on. I don't know much about building all shelters and things, so I haven't quite decided to go to that extent yet. But what I have done is I have significantly reduced the gear that I'm carrying. And I've done that by leaving my tent behind. I've actually brought a hammock today. So try to try something new. Let's take a second here, make sure I still have all my gear. So yeah, I'm trying a hammock. I don't have any kind of rain fly for it, but I do still have my tent's drop cloth in my bag here, so if needed I could turn that into a makeshift rain fly. This is a really rough road. Way rougher than I remember it. Holy shit. In addition to that, I have left behind most of my fire starting gear. I normally carry a bag full of like matches and a lighter, and have like paper and things that I could potentially use if I needed to have a fire starter or some kind of help, you know. And I realized I've never used it. I've never actually gone into that bag to get any of the fire starting stuff. So I thought, why not just leave it behind from now on? I used to bring 2 cups. I decided to stop doing that. I don't really need 2 cups. One was to potentially like cook in or eat out of, and the other was to drink out of. But it's not really necessary. Dude. Yeah. Way easier to see with my visor up. So let's see, what else did I not bring? I didn't bring a pot to boil water in. Normally I do that because I like to boil water to cook MREs. That's what I've been eating. But since I'm now trying to do cooking and actually bring real food, I've just decided to leave that one behind. So without that, that means I also didn't bring my stove. So I don't have my little stove that I normally have. We're just going to try to make a fire and cook off the fire. For dinner tonight, I've got a couple of small potatoes and a big ribeye steak. So that should be pretty fun if we can get a fire going. Yeah, this road is fucked up. I'm trying to find the spot I camped last time because it was a pretty prime location. Okay, I think it was over there in those woods right there. Oh, there is a big camp down here somebody has set up. I think I want to camp this close to them. I think I need to probably head out into the woods soon. Just don't want to be too close to that family. It's always probably the hardest part of camping. The way I do it is like picking that one spot that you want, or even just finding something that's reasonable. I could probably just go out there. Let's go for a walk, shall we? And then I will make a decision. I guess the terrain doesn't really matter. I can camp where there's rocks because I have a hammock. Question is, do I want to ride out here? Plenty of rocks to make a fire pit out of. That's a plus. Problem is, a lot of these trees aren't very tall. They're not really ideal for what I'm trying to do. This kind of looks like a good spot. I don't know about sleeping right over this cactus though. Yeah, I think if that cactus wasn't there, I'd probably take this. This place has a different vibe this time. Could just be the time of year. I don't know. Something smells bad. I can't figure out if it's in my helmet or if it's outside. Don't tell anybody that I did this. How far am I from the road? So make sure I'm not visible. You guys are going to see a lot more in this video than I normally leave in. I've decided I'm going to start leaving them longer and show you stuff like this, where I'm actually doing real scouting work, trying to find a private place to camp. See, this is a good spot too. That's the road, so there's no way you're gonna see me out here. Perfect. Now if I die, no one will find me. Kidding, of course. I always send GPS coordinates to my wife so she knows where I'm camping, and that way if I don't come back, they know where to start looking. Oh, that, my friends, is how you pick an awesome campsite. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleanup for this campsite tonight, because all this is gonna have to get moved so I can build a small fire pit here. What I'd like to do is hang my hammock between these two trees so I can sleep here, have my fire pit here, have the bike and all my gear right there. I think that'd be a pretty good setup. Anyway, let's get this stuff unpacked. So this is just about all I brought, really. I've got my hammock, I've got some first aid stuff, I got a cup, I got my whiskey, I got some flashlights, I have an extra layer, cutting board for the food, knives to cut and kind of maneuver the food with, and my sleeping bag. That's about it, other than the riding gear and the camera gear. So let's open up this hammock and see if I can figure it out. I think this is how it works. This big old motherfucker. Not a very expensive hammock, but it does the job. I think that's right. If it's not, it'll have to do. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna put the fire pit right here, but I gotta clear out a lot of these needles because I don't want embers flying out and igniting them. That is the responsible thing to do. Thinking that should probably be adequate. I'll build a pit right here, and we'll start getting some wood together. What is that white shit? Some kind of mildew? I don't know. It's not ash. I'll tell you that. Need to build that back wall up taller. Okay, I think that'll do it. I'm just gonna go around and find some sticks. All right, well, welcome to my humble camp. Got my bike, got my hammock set up. I have this drop cloth down here to put my stuff on so I don't get all covered in dirt and pine needles. And I've got this fire pit I've built here with a small pit and a lot of wall around it. My goal is to try to keep the flames about the level of the rocks the whole time. If they go higher than that, I know I have to tone it down a little bit. So it is about 3:45 and I've got steak in there that is thawed now. I had it packed with ice and it's all water, so I'm gonna probably start cooking that around 4:30. People have told me to cook on coals instead of open flame, and I've never actually done that. So I'm gonna get this fire started, let it burn out a little bit so I can get some hot coals in there, and then I suppose I'll start cooking at that point. Oh, man. I don't know why, but this is like way more uncomfortable than usual. I think it's because I'm too close to the hammock here and my head keeps hitting it. Well, it's 4:30. I said I was gonna start cooking at 4:30. I just finished filming some stuff. Once this dies down a little bit, I'm gonna put the steaks and potatoes on there and get this show on the road. Well, it's probably time for whiskey, I'd say. You know, I forgot to mention, my buddy Morgan replaced my my lost buck knife with this thing, which is a Morkanev. I don't know how it's pronounced, Morkanev fixed blade knife, and it is a really nice knife. Edge is extremely sharp, and I really appreciate that, Morgan. I'm going to use this from now on when I cook stuff, and I'm going to use it tonight when I cut this steak up. Other thing he got me was a flask, because he thought I should be drinking better whiskey, I guess, than Jim Beam. And the only reason I was buying Jim Beam is because I could buy it in a tiny container. So this is Colorado Tin Cup, which is a whiskey that is distilled in Indiana, and then it is mixed with a tiny amount of some Colorado single malt, and then it is cut with Colorado water. The company is in Colorado, but the whiskey's made in Indiana. I don't know. I'm not picky with that kind of shit, but he is right. I should start drinking better whiskey. And this stuff is delicious. I was drinking it last night. It's definitely good stuff. It's very easy to drink. It's very smooth. It's a little spicy, and then it's a little sweet. It's really good. Nothing I love more than coming out here, getting really fucking tired, cooking some food, and drinking some whiskey. It is the most satisfying thing in life, I think, is to get a little drunk out here after sweating and working and putting together a campsite. It's one of my favorite things. But yeah, I've been trying different whiskeys lately, different single malts. I think I'm just going to start, every time I buy a bottle of anything, it's going to be a bottle of something I haven't had before. And then I'm going to just kind of assemble some sort of mental list of whiskeys I like and whiskeys I don't, and why. I mean, if you read about whiskey, you read about like reviews on blogs and stuff, it's a lot of foo-foo nonsense shit. They'd say something like they'd taste nutmeg and honeysuckle in this, and I'm like, slow down, okay? It's alcohol, first of all. All of it tastes pretty similar. And I think you're splitting hairs if you're telling me that you taste honeysuckle in pretty much anything. I don't know, the way that I kind of judge whiskey is like how drinkable it is, like how smooth is it? You know, does it burn so much you want to cough every time you drink it like Jim Beam does? Jim Beam is not a smooth whiskey. Because up front, you know, you always taste the alcohol in this. It's usually at least 40% alcohol. So that's usually the first thing you taste, and we could lie to ourselves and say we taste something else. Like that's not the alcohol, that's pepper or something, but it's not. Immediately you taste alcohol. After that, maybe you taste some sort of a spice. But what that spice is impossible to put your finger on. Unless you're some guy writing a blog and you want to make it look nice. Okay, kids, it's time to put this lump of potatoes and meat into the fire. Let's hope I'm doing this right. I may end up just putting sticks across and doing a normal fire. But I'm going to leave it on like this for a bit. I'll flip it every couple minutes and see how this turns out. Pretty good, I'd say. Sorry to eat on mic, but this is delicious. I bet you wish you were here. The only thing I'm missing right now is a cigar. Put those potatoes back on. See if these potatoes are done yet. I knew that wasn't going to work putting those in with the steak, but whatever. Well, this is the part of the video where I normally turn it off. Trying to think what else I have to say. That's usually what the problem is. I just don't know what else to talk about. And so even though you want to sit here and sit around the fire with me, I don't know what we're going to talk about. So, I'm going to kick this fire up a little bit and then probably lay down in a hammock and read a book, because that's generally what I do. It's a good steak though. These potatoes need more salt, but I'm too lazy to go back to my bag and get the seasoning. Probably should have put the seasoning on the potatoes afterwards, actually. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, come back next week for when I wake up and leave.
I wish that I could go back.